Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. So I went and got my angle grinder out, cut a big old hole on the inside here, like I said, and that is where my reservoir is going to go. Got a tape measure, measured the width of that thing and the height of it. I just kind of randomly picked places to start cutting. In the depth down here, there's like a little step and it goes back up, and the distance from the top here to the back there is further than it is from here to there. So it's going to be kind of a strange configuration of box, but I think it's going to work really, really nice. So I took those dimensions, hold on, and made a little sketch, kind of how I wanted it to be. Now, like I said, this up here is 4 inches, but this distance is 1.5 up to and then 1.5. So this is just a total of 3 inches. That's 4. So this is going to be at an angle. That was my overall width and height and all that stuff. And then just sort of found some 16 gauge and chopped the pieces up the way I have written down there, and just sort of tack welded this thing together. And that allowed me to put this inside the truck to see how it fits. And I discovered that I would be able to, where did I write it down? Oh, I'd be able to go about 1.5 inches wider, or a half inch wider, and 1.25 inches taller. Because what I want to be able to do is I want the, well, let's just go back down here. So yeah, that just kind of sits in there like that, and you see how I can go a bit wider there on the sides, and I can go deeper because I want this to kind of stick out a little bit, not too far because then I could hit my spring, but I need it to stick out a little bit because I need to be able to put a little AN fitting down there, or any kind of fitting really, but because that's going to be the where the water goes into the pump. That's where the pump's going to get its water from. So yeah, so that, and I went to work today, Saturday, no, it's Friday, and cut out a bunch of pieces of aluminum, and there we go. So now I got these things. I need to weld them all together. I went online, this guy on YouTube called 6061. I recommend checking him out. He doesn't say much. In fact, most of his videos, he doesn't say anything at all. But if you want to learn something, just watch what he does and emulate that. And I went ahead and paid, it's $45. He's got like an online class. And so I figured, I help the guy out, support him a little bit, and see if I can't learn something. And I did. Learn the proper ways to set up this machine, and how to grind a tungsten better, how to ball the tip for AC welding, and just sort of like technique of how to do better welds. So with that in mind, I started doing it, and there you go. Of course, I practiced a whole bunch of times. When I first started practicing, that's what I ended up with. And this is probably because the material was dirty, or any number of things. So I went back, started over, and just tried some different settings and other ideas. And that's yeah. And there you go. And that's that one. And there's that one. And now I've just got to go around the edges of this, and that'll be the end of it. This is going to be, right here is going to be the part that you see. This is up against the spring. It's going to be in there kind of like that. That'll be up against the spring, and then I'll have a fitting down here somewhere. I won't know where yet, but then I've also got some little tabs that I'll weld to the side here. That's what this was, just practicing to welding 1/8 inch aluminum to 16th aluminum. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that up tomorrow. And yeah, that's pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited about that. And we'll just leave it there for now. Well, all right, I got her all done. Not the most beautiful welds in the world. They're pretty good, but if I did it more often, they'd be a lot better. But I'm really, really happy with it. I'll show you a quick video right now, what happens if you kind of get in a hurry. So if you have clean material and a clean tungsten and correct gas flow and all the settings right, you end up with shiny sort of stacking dimes things. If you get ahead of yourself, get in a hurry, and don't clean the material, and that's the only thing you change, that's what you end up with. It's just got pits and there's no good arc control, and it's just a disaster. Now that hole there was kind of an accident from earlier when I was trying to tack this thing together, but I was just going to leave that hole for some expansion when I finished up this last weld. But that's what happens if you get ahead of yourself and don't take the time to clean things. So now I got to take a file or something and get all that out of there and try again. So you know. Yeah, that was over, what was that? That was over here. So that's what the repair ended up being. And it turns out it was probably less a problem of contamination as it was, wherever it was, as it was, as it was from air trying to come out when I was trying to weld over it. Because I ended up welding it from this way, coming at it, and figured that the cleaning action of the TIG welder would clean this up once I got to it, but it still made a whole mess. And then I took and drilled a little hole right there so air could escape, and then it just welded over no problem. So that's pretty cool. And the hole was kind of nice because I could take a little air gun, pressurize this, stick my thumb over it, and then spray it with Windex and find any little pinholes. And there was a few, but not too bad. But yeah, I got little mounting tabs on the side there, and let's see how this goes. All right, and there it is, looking pretty good, I must say. I didn't really know how many mounting bolts to put on it, but 2 is quite good. That's going to be nice and solid, and that's going to work just fine. I will have, well, I don't really know what I'm going to have. Probably going to have a little weld-on thing down here, but maybe not because it could end up hanging down too low. It may just end up going right here and then come up. Maybe the pump could mount here or something. I don't really want to mount things here because that's outside. You know, I want to keep things mounted on the inside if I can, but I don't know. Or I could have it over here maybe, and then it could come up and the pump could be mounted up here or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but whatever. I'll figure out where that goes later. I think that is actually a problem that's not too difficult to concern myself about. One problem that I do have that is really difficult is how am I going to figure out that? So the bottom of this filler neck is 1 and call it 7/16, 1.5, be close enough. Yeah, so I can somehow get a hold of a little 1 and 7/16 or 1.5 little piece of tube or something that I can weld to the top of that reservoir. But how do I know where to put it and at what angle? And then once it is put there, how am I going to tighten the little hose clamps on it? That's a whole bunch of really big unknowns, and I don't have any idea how I'm going to do it at all. I'm hoping that what I can do is figure out kind of a rough position where that tube goes on the reservoir, sort of tack it in place. That may be, I may need to do that a couple times before I figure it out, but get it in sort of the rough position. And if I'm really lucky, I'll be able to loosen these 3 little screws here and pull the reservoir out with this part. Maybe be able to get it all the way out with that part. I don't know. Or maybe just get it far enough that I can reach in there and tighten hose. I don't know how I'm going to do that. That is definitely a problem. And, that's what we'll do. We'll figure it out. Stay tuned.